Call of Duty World War II. They're going to World War II, guys.
Didn't they start in World War II?
No, but they're going to it right now. They're doing it. They went super into the future.
I'm so confused.
They gave you all these futuristic stuff, but they're bringing it back. They're bringing it back home.
Right, but isn't Call of Duty a spin-off of the Modern Warfare franchise? And didn't that start in World War II?
My only interest in this, because I'm terrible at first-person shooters, so I've just never been able to play them. I'm interested that they are doing this big, huge reveal, 7 weeks before E3? So yeah. I'll ask you, Jules, because you seem to be into this, do you think that's because it is so epic that they'll be able to show all this and then go playable into E3 and get everybody all hyped about it? Or do you think it's because they're scared and don't want it to get lost in the buzz of E3?
I think more the second one. I think, Call of Duty's kind of been out of it. They even said in a press release that maybe it wasn't the right time for that one. So this Call of Duty WWII, this is the time for this one. They're scared that at E3 they're going to be overshadowed by a lot of other stuff. So why not announce an entire live stream where this is the only gaming news we're going to have? So why not have everybody talk about it for a day or two?
Definitely will be like a day or two, because the hype for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which has already been released on another system, is still so real.
I don't even have a Switch, and I'm more excited for that. I used to be into the Call of Duty Black Ops games.
Yeah.
The group of like 8 or 10 guys I used to play with. Really fun, but I hate the fact that I dropped $60 on a game, and then 3 months later I got to drop another $25 to download the next portion of it. By the end, I've spent $160 on a game, and then exactly 1 year later they drop the next version of the game, which is really just like 6 more maps and 2 new guns and nothing else new.
And throwback maps, of course.
I think that's where COD has been losing people. I mean, just keep releasing the same game with slightly new content every year.
How about making a better game?
But that's the trend.
Don't release the same game on a new disc or on a new massive download every year. Just keep adding DLC until you have a literal new game. There's this whole thing out there on the internet right now where people talk about games and prices, where there's small developer companies that release games for like $20 and $30. And then you have the big games that are $60 and they release DLC for $20. So I've been hearing people actually discuss how many hours do you have to play a game to feel like you got your money's worth. And I think back and I'm like, man, but games cost what they cost. I mean, Kevin, do you remember buying N64 games?
Yeah.
N64 games cost between $50 and $70, okay?
Yep.
There were no games that were cheaper than that, so I never thought about how much I was paying for a game. I just looked at the game and I said, does it look good? I'll buy it. And if I bought it, it wasn't how many hours did it take me to play it. It was, did I enjoy it? Yes, I got my money's worth out of it. End of discussion. But a game that cost $70 in 1996, what is that in today's dollars? Is it 100? 110.
Yeah,
so the fact that new AAA games still cost $60 is tremendous to me. So I don't ever look at games and then think about them releasing DLC for $25 and thinking I'm getting a bad value. I think, how are they still doing this at this price? I just want them to release an individual game that warrants an individual game. That's all I'm asking. Like Kevin said, make it good.
Yeah.
I think mainly it's for those quote-unquote hardcore gamers, or just gamer in general that buys constantly, because they have so many free options. I can do this many hours and I'm still entertained in Minecraft, and it's free. If I can buy a $60 game and it only gives me 10 to 12 hours story, that's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I love Minecraft, and you're right. If you pirate Minecraft, it is free. If you pay for it, it's like $27.
Oh yeah, I got it for free. Sorry.
I spent $15 on it, like, I don't know, 6 years ago, and I still play it. I love the exploration. I love all of that, but it's such a simple game. It's possible to have games that you can still update, that you don't have to change, and you don't have to just do it to make money. And I think a lot of this comes down to that it's the difference between an indie gaming company, which is a couple of people who are passionate about it and work on it and work on parts of it that they love, and when they're done with that, they work on something else. And then you've got the big studios where you've got a guy whose job it is to make a menu, and he makes that menu, and that menu is perfect, and it's exactly what you need. It's the blend of style and function and everything. And then once he is done with that, his only job is to make that menu. And so he makes
in
that
Rick and
menu
Morty.
again, and he changes it because he has to prove that he has done something. And so that menu that was perfect in the last iteration of the game comes out again. And because that he wants to keep his job, and his friend wants to keep his job, and his boss wants to keep his job, they're going to put out another game next year. And next year, that menu has changed, and it doesn't work the same. It's why they have to keep putting out games, because they have to pay these guys, and they have to pay these guys because they keep putting out games. So it's a weird catch-22.
Yeah, and I think whenever you release DLC, you're kind of narrowing down your audience too. You're narrowing down the audience to the people that already have the game, and I think they see that as a loss, because if you put out a whole new game, more than likely somebody's going to buy it if you've heard of it, or like it's going to be like, oh, this brand new game, okay. But if it's like DLC, it's like, I don't have the game. So they might think constantly putting out DLC and constantly re-upping, they're losing their audience very slowly and the numbers are going down. So I'm not a fan of delivering a game that's not fully done and then adding the rest of it later.
I just finished up Just Cause 3, all right? And I bought this game on Amazon for like $15. And it was a great game. I spent, I don't even know how many hours, because like Tim, I don't care. It was worth $15 to me, and I did wait until the price came down because it wasn't worth $60 to me. But now that I've finished the main part of the game, there's DLC for it that's $25. Not a huge amount, but at the same time, I only spent $15 on the game, and I don't know if I want to spend another $25, bringing the total up to $40 for a game that's going to add I don't know how much longer to it. You know, I wish that the prices of downloads for games and that DLC would go down over time, because I can buy the game for $15 and I can't download it for less than $60.
No, it makes total sense.
Oof.
You know, it's a supply and demand. They have an infinite supply when you download it. There's no demand. Lower the price.
Right.
Yeah, very true.